What's a stereotype that you see broken more often than not? DK, where the whole guys getting together to talk about their sexual conquests thing came from. Women are much more likely to discuss the details. People with glasses being smart. I'm blind and dumb as fuck. People always assume the men's restroom is the grosser one. IDKY. Maybe it's the stereotype that men are pigs or whatever. I worked as a janitor for a while. And while the men's restroom had higher peak grossness, the women's had a significantly higher average. Like on a scale of 1 to 10. Men's restrooms are normally a 3-4. But when something goes wrong, it goes really wrong and spikes up to 10. Women's restrooms generally sit around 6-7. But rarely go above 8. The sleeping Mexican or lazy. Never understood where this even came from. Because if anything, they are the hardest workers from my experience. I'm Asian. I'm dumb as rocks. That black people like fried chicken. Everyone likes fried chicken. If you don't like fried chicken, I'm not sure you can be in my life. I can't use canned more negativity. Funeral directors being depressing grim reapers who will take financial advantage of families dealing with the loss of a loved one. Totally not true. My co-workers are hysterical. Party hard and are very careful to never push a family to purchase anything they do not want or need. Also, many are women. Edit. Duplicate word. Most people are scared of dudes and biker gangs. In my experience, they tend to be some of the nicest people you'll meet. Most gay guys aren't anything like the stereotype you see on TV and are usually indistinguishable from straight guys. People just notice the ones that aren't. Most vegetarians don't really give a shit what you eat and wouldn't think about making a fuss if you were out with them and ordered meat. Mostly just the loud minority, as with most things in this thread that give them a bad reputation. The lazy immigrant stereotype. I don't know how anyone buys into this crap when you can literally see it broken on a daily basis. That lawyers are dull. Boring people. Some of the craziest. Drug using. Orgy having. Singing at the top of their lungs in bars people I've met have been in the law profession. I before E except after C. That schizophrenics are psychos who hear voices telling them to kill people. Most people with schizophrenia are just your average people that sometimes zone out or have trouble focusing. Jocks being assholes. Most of the athletic kids who were in multiple sports at my high school were super kind and enthusiastic. I think this makes sense too. With a lot of sports being team-based and requiring cooperation. I've never once seen any woman get mad when someone held a door for them. My best friend is black. She hates watermelon. Case closed. As Mexican. That all of us are tanned. I am such pearl white skin. Mexico has multi-race variety more than any other country on the world. Even 2 years of friendship with a German friend. She asked me later why I am not looking Mexican. It was really funny. I've never once met the so-called SJW as described by the internet. Not even on my uni campus. That people from the south, often referred to as rednecks and hillbillies, are ardently racist. Buff gym guys are rude, intimidating and unapproachable. In my experience, the biggest guys are usually the friendliest. Religious people are nicer. Huh. Mosques. Vast majority of the time they usually give sermons on values like don't be a liar or don't talk behind other people's back. The worst one I ever attended was an imam complaining about how Muslim girls are dressing modestly enough. That people with money are bad. Corrupt and don't want other to be wealthy. Most people that I know that have money are very kind. Happy to see others succeed and are very generous. The super laid back. Friendly Aussie, the polite Canadian. I've met one too many people from both countries who are absolutely barking insane. Or simply rude and arrogant at best. Midwest nice absolutely does not apply in Chicago. On the roads. Cars. Bikes. Motorcycles. Pedestrians. Nearly everyone is an impatient, entitled jackass. And while everyone is pleasant and chatty to strangers for a few moments, if you're around them for extended periods of time, you'll quickly learn that they're catty, backbiting whiners. British having bad teeth. Like 99% of Brits I know have perfect teeth. That goths are unfriendly. There is a theatre down the road from me that is frequented by goths and emos and the like. And I've talked to a few of them. Probably some of the nicest people you could ever meet. Edit. Clarity. That Indian Chinese people are very smart, nerdy. People in the US tend to forget that it's a small successful fraction. Are the cream of the crop. Of the 2-5 billion that make it here. And have no clue how dumb the average guy from there is. Jews being cheap. The biggest donors to charities and civic causes I've ever met were Jewish. That big men with tattoos, golden necklaces, and I'll throw in the big bikes are bad people. I used to keep a distance, being mildly afraid because of the stereotype. But the people I got to know thus far are the exact opposite. You should see these men with their kids or their dogs. As a French, the whole French stereotype. We don't wear berets all the time. We don't randomly wander around with a baguette under the arm. Garlic is good, but not good enough to wear some as a collar. We don't play accordion all the time. We don't have Marini Res all the time. We barely eat any snails and frogs. We, men, do like women. Though. I think guys are great. I'm a female. 18. Traveling the world a bit for a year. Of course this comes with the usual warnings and concerns of parents and elders. Specifically being careful around men and anyone who could take advantage of me. I live in quite a safe area. But so far all I can say is that almost every man guy I have met has subverted all the stereotypes I was warned against. Most guys are just respectful and kind dudes that just live their lives. It's only the really crazy ones that get the limelight on social media that you hear about. I can guarantee you that no trans woman ever wants to trap a straight man into sleeping with her. Who the FCK wants to get murdered? If anything, we're going to be super wary about guys finding us attractive. Especially if we don't have a vag. And we get that genital preference can be a thing. We get it. We know. Lazy Mexicans. No idea where it came from. They're literally the hardest workers in the entire world. They outrank even South Korea in working hours. American tourists being shitty. They're my faves. As a Canadian. Super polite and a lot of fun to hang out with. Vegans lecturing non-vegan people about what they eat. I more hear non-vegans picking fights about vegan stuff. I just don't know why they'd care what I eat. Entitled Lazy Millennials. Me and my friends have all had jobs and been working since we were teenagers, and most of us still only have debt to show for it. But we will continue working our asses off anyway. Probably until the day we die, because we'll never be able to afford to retire. Canadians being nice. All the Canadians I know are completely entitled and selfish assholes. That all rock music fans are dumb and or violent stoners. Vodka. Sauna and Perkle. That pit bulls are practically natural born killers. My twin brother used to volunteer at the Humane Society a lot. And would always go on and on about how out of all the dogs, the pit bulls were almost always the sweetest. They were the definition of timid. Pretty big scary cats. But once they opened up, none could match their affection. The sad thing is, because they were so timid, and often scared when people come up at first, barking is a natural reaction initially, before going to a whimper. But people mistake the initial bark for aggression, and don't even give them a chance from there. The stereotype has done nothing but hurt them. Not only are they the most commonly abused dogs, but they have the biggest return rate. They get more of them than any other dog, and are the hardest to adopt, often having them there far longer than other breeds, which are adopted far sooner in comparison. It's really sad. No matter what, this dumb stigma always leaves them the short end of the stick. It's really quite sad. Preachy vegans. I hear that joke, how can you tell if someone's vegan? They tell you. In my experience working with knowing vegans, they don't mention it unless it comes up, like if you offer them something with dairy. But far more often I hear non-vegans making fun of vegans. That all gay people are liberal sassy feminine snowflakes. All the gay guys I know personally are as far right as they can be without being homophobes themselves and are stereotypical ladies macho men minus the ladies part. All white people are racist. That's probably one of the dumbest stereotypes ever. I know lots of really cool and open-minded white people. The South is full of racist. Everywhere you go there is racism. My mom, who is black, was called a monkey in Southern Cal by Hispanics. I was told to go back to Africa when I was unsettled multiple times. The Irish goodbye. Have you ever been to an Irish gathering? Fecking goodbyes for ages.